Nigeria Now on Equa Television. I'm Sambo Solomon, and to do this with me today, I have Joyce Jakada.
As always, a pleasant afternoon to you, Sambo Solomon.
Good to have you on the show
Same
today.
here.
Yeah. Viewer, you can do well to join us in this conversation today. Drop your contribution on what we are going to be discussing today. You know how we do it, and we appreciate you sincerely for choosing this show to be your favorite and then choosing Equa Television. Today, we are going to be looking at how the National Assembly, the House of Representatives, how they are complaining, talking about how to probe the recent fuel hike, which we feel it is very important. And, the expectation of Nigerians is that legislature, they are the people that create check and balance to whatever is happening. And this will form, and other will form our discussion today. And I believe Joyce and I will do justice to it, and your contribution as well. We add weight to the program. Joyce, I keep wondering, every time I see things like this, it quickly takes me back to what you said concerning that 2 month, that 8 weeks increment, that 4 weeks window that the federal government gave.
8 weeks.
8 weeks, that the federal government gave to sit down and look into the issue of palliative and then re-strategize and see how they will cushion the effect. And you said something that really captured my heart. That you said, could this just be another plan to just make Nigerians adopt to the recent hike and what is going on, so that later after the 2 months we see excuses and then Nigerians are already used to it and then life continue?
Sambo Solomon is a sad one. We like the issue of fuel subsidy removal is one that has been a burning issue. We've been talking about it, and what's the area of focus here or area of concentration is about how Nigerians are struggling, how people are living in hardship, the pain that this removal has caused to the common people. This is because there was nothing that was put in place to cushion the effect. In other developed climes, there are always interventions as regards deregulating the crude oil sector, but in our own part, it was more like a policy that was made without any intervention. What we kept saying, like you rightly said, was meetings upon meetings. Recall NLC threatened strike, protest, and then the federal government quickly rushed to the industrial court, and the NLC were asked not to, and then there were dialogue meetings that were ongoing, and we saw how that the NLC and TUC promised, like with along the federal government, saying that in 8 weeks time, because committee has been set and they're actually looking to like bringing about palliative to cushion the effect of this fuel subsidy removal. And it was while Nigerians are struggling to actually be patient amidst the plea by the president that Nigerians should be patient, Nigerians should endure the hardship, that on Tuesday morning, Nigerians were faced with another reality of fuel hike. And we saw how that the NNPCL group managing director said that no, it has nothing to do with supply. It's more of the marketers, the market forces that are determining this. A lot of reactions trailed that. We saw Nigerians in different parts of the country but actually lamenting that the House of Reps, which is people-oriented, the representative of the people, actually moved a motion that this fuel hike should be probed, it should be checked, the unexpected hike. And you will not expect less because they are actually representative of the people. But what is more important as far as we are concerned is beyond the say we should see action being put in place immediately, beyond setting committees and telling Nigerians to be patient in 8 weeks, and then just like this issue of first subsidy removal and the palliative, be patient in 8 weeks. Committees have been set, they are actually doing the needful, and just for Nigerians to wake up on Tuesdays to see that there's actually another hike. Right. And of course, you know, the economic situation that we're already faced with, the inflation and all of that. But in a motion by Honorable Ikenga Ugo Chinyere during the plenary yesterday, moved a motion that this unexpected hike should be checked, it should be probed. And the House actually agreed to set up a committee to summon the group managing director of NNPCL to look into the increase. We saw how that the NLC quickly reacted to that through their president, Joe Ajero, saying that this is provocative, it's totally unacceptable. While we're already dialoguing, while we are talking with the federal government, committees have been set, but decisions kept, policies have been taken, decisions have been taken. So what's the essence of the committee? And NLC are saying, in fact, they are going to be forced to pull out of that because it's more like we were just manipulated, and then decisions have been, a lot of things have been ongoing, even amidst committees that have been set up that we've not had anything yet about that. So like the NLC president said, I think this is unacceptable. 18% increase will worsen the poverty level that people are already in. It's going to increase the level of hardship, the level of poverty in Nigeria. Like, we just walk like elephants and eat like ants. Sometimes you just ask yourself the question, are you working for petrol station? Are you working just to pay transportation? Because if you're going to put a fuel in your car of 5,000 naira, how long will it take you? At most 2 days. That's if you're just going to work and coming back from work, considering distance as well. A lot of people right now, as we speak, have packed their cars following this hike. The federal government kept emphasizing, oh, we are borrowing $800 million. There's approval of 500 billion naira out of the 890 billion supplementary budget. It has been approved. We are going to provide fertilizer. We are going to... How many people have received anything so far? For the past 2 months that people have been going through hardship, all we kept hearing was we will, and nobody. Even the 12 million household that we were told that we're going to be given 8,000 naira monthly. Is your name in that list? Is my name in that list? Of course, no. And that is why we're also asking of how did they come up about the list? Who knows anybody that will be on that list? We live in a country where issues of data is not taken serious. A lot of mystery going on in this nation, Sambo Solomon. So many questions, few answers. This is the same country where a ministry, a very key ministry, Ministry of Finance, is saying, oh, we don't have details of recovered loot. We don't know what happened to it, which is an unacceptable answer. And this is the same country where you see committees upon committees being said and nothing comes out of it. You see people say, oh, we have the names of the people that are stealing crude oil, we have the names of people that are doing this, yet the names are not published for Nigerians to see. Nothing is being done. Committees said since 2012 to probe the issue of stolen PMS and all of that, especially those that are taken to other West African countries, yet nothing is being heard about that. We need to be serious when it comes to governance. Beyond saying, oh, we are on top of this, we are on top of this, can we face what is happening currently? Can we put food on the tables of Nigeria? Think about the civil servant that have not been paid since February or since March or for the past 6 months or for the past 1 year. How would he or she survive? We're talking about product and services, thinking of hiking their prices. Sambo Solomon, like I will always say, if all these products and services go on with the hike in prices, what happens to the common man? Of course, he will just turn to dust. As it is, people, almost everybody you see, we're using it to catch cruise right now. Trekking has become the new norm. People are, if you eat 1 square meal, like, you have to give God the praise. Because when you go to the market, this hike has affected almost all prices, and then prices of goods and services. We live in a country where price control is nobody cares about it. And people, the market forces just determine the prices. Like the NNPCL are saying, managing director is saying, oh, it has nothing to do with us. Like we said, sometimes in April, the market forces are the ones that are going to be determining the prices. So it means that if in the international market there is another increase, we should expect to buy crude oil at 1,000 naira per liter. I think the government, especially the federal government, need to be deliberate about ensuring that the cost of living is cheap and is affordable to Nigerians. Imagine the outcry that trailed yesterday and then today, the groanings that Nigerians have been, because following the increase in fuel price, something you were buying from between 488, 530, now you're buying at 585, in some states 600, in some states 617, in some part of the country 620, up to 630 per liter. So tell me why Nigerians will not lament. quick solution to these rising prices is what Nigerians are actually asking for. We are lamenting because our economic situation right now is not friendly, it's not even favorable. You will recall that it was sometimes in 2012 during President Goodluck Billy Jonathan that some few individuals tore the streets of Ajo Ota to protest the hike in price of in pump price from 65 naira to 120 naira, saying that no, they refuse this hike, this is not government, saying all manner of things. And I'm asking myself this question: where are these individuals? Where are they? We're talking about from 195 to 530. From 530, we're talking about 630. Where are the people that tore the street of Ajo Ota to protest in 2012? Where are they today? Now they keep mute, that like they are not in existence. See, one of our biggest problem in this country is hypocrisy. Like, it is one of our key characteristics. As we speak right now, there's increase. The economic situation is not even friendly. But yet, all those people that were protesting against Goodluck Ebele Jonathan are nowhere to be found. I think we owe that man apology because we cannot continue in this cycle. People strive on hypocrisy. I've said it over and over again. If we want to grow, if we want to develop, then we must say truth to power. We cannot hide under sycophancy for what we will get at the detriment of 133 million Nigerians that are languishing in poverty. Today, we said we no longer have the rich, the middle class, and the poor. You're either rich or you are poor. I'm suffering, Sambo Solomon. We cannot deny the fact we are going through it. And a lot of Nigerians are struggling to feed, to live, to survive. You have a government in place that you went all out to elect, to defend. I saw some people asking, making mockery of people that actually supported the current administration, saying, how market now? See, it's all of us that are going through the pinship. But like I always say, it's about the political will. We're not talking about party right now, but the political will to do the needful. There's I think we have a disconnect, a disparity between policy formation and policy implementation. Because if we are going to, if there's connection between formation and implementation, then we will not be having this issue. That is to say, before the policy was made, we have considered implementation, we have considered the adverse effects and all of that. Civil servant, like I always say, there are people into business that at least day in, day out, they get something. But think about the civil servant that for months he has not been paid and he has family. We're even talking about 8,000 naira that was largely and widely criticized by Nigeria. Well, we thank God that the president has called for the review, though we don't know upward or downward, but we hope that is an upward review. Because if 70 billion naira is going to be allocated to members of House of National Assembly, of the 10th National Assembly, to help their working condition, then we should understand the times that we're in and we should consider the average Nigerians, those living in abject poverty. Let's consider them in talking about governance. The cost of commodities is not something that you want to even talk about because it's depressing. I was discussing with someone this morning and he told me that, see, anytime I think about it, price of bag of rice, price of mudu, maize, beans, and other things, sugar. I just said, God, just take over, because the thought of it alone is depressing. Because you can just see how that you cannot even afford it. What we call take home cannot even take you to the junction, talk more of home. What are we thinking in terms of even improving the welfare of the citizens? In terms of improving, it was the TUC that recommended about 200,000 minimum wage. But all we kept hearing is, we are hoping, we are working, we are doing this and that. But we cannot continue to languish in hunger while we watch our leaders saying we are going to do this. We leave them, we watch them living flamboyant life. The danger is this. When people are hungry, it is a recipe for anarchy and disaster. And we don't want to go back to that table. It's also a recipe for crime. We're not giving an excuse for that. But the needful must be done. We've seen that in the past, how that people tore the path of crime because they had nothing to eat. And you know Nigerians, they will do anything to survive. Let's not tore the path that we will later regret. Why won't we just be proactive rather than waiting for things that will happen that will now use reactive measures? So first and foremost, I think there should be intervention, especially in terms of price. Like I said earlier on, these are things that are obtainable in almost every climate. So we hope that our government are going to intervene. Local production should also be looked into in terms of making sure that our 4 refineries are actually working. Because like I said, if we say that the market forces will determine the price, that means if there's also another increase, we're going to be buying fuel at 1,000 per litre. Think about the transportation fare and all of that. And the president talked about giving fertilizers and other things to farmers to aid in production. Let's see that nobody has said, oh, I've received this from the federal government yet. All has been, we will. Can we see them putting that into action? Issue of insecurity have over the time affected agricultural production and other things. Let's deal with the issue of insecurity so that our farmers can be able to farm. The agricultural sector is one that needs intervention as quick as possible. And there is need to open our borders so that we can have food. There is need for that, Sambo Solomon.
People are really hungry, and you know, they said a hungry man is an angry man. Like you said, we should not taught that part, because definitely it won't be funny to even the rich and the poor. That's just the truth. And we hope that, like you rightly said, you know, House of Representatives is the house of the masses. So let's hear them speaking more about what, more about the masses, how, you know, they can find relief by them intervening, and then them checking up with the other arms of government and see that the right thing is being done.
Sambo Solomon, beyond expectation, the federal government should swift into actions, especially in providing this palliative that Nigerians have long waited for, and to do something like in regards to this hike in prices. You will recall that in 2012, when these people protested, that was the right time for this subsidy to be removed, because our economy was good. But look at the situation we found ourselves with the report by MBS about the inflation in June, which is like the highest in two years right now. It means our economy is not even good and ripe for it. But we always mix politics with policies. And that was why we fought that in 2012. Now that the economic situation is dwindling, now because of politics, we are our hands are all up for the policy. But like I said, there should be marriage between policy formation and policy implementation.
I solidly agree with you. Senate urges employers to remove age limit in employment.
Well, this is a very an issue that has long been overdue, if you ask me, because you live in a nation whereby you study in a university that you should spend 4 years, you're spending 6 years or 8 years or 10 years because of strike. It was recently I saw that a student of the University of Jos who has been in that institution for over 10 years was being celebrated. He kept, I think his own problem largely has to do with him as well, because he kept changing from one department to the other. You know, in the university, you always have the probation. If you don't pass your first year, you have the second year chance. And then if you don't make it, you're being removed from that department to look for another department. Probably the course is too hard for you and all of that. But there are people that study hard. They are doing well. They don't have any failure or any sort. But courses that should take them 4 years, they are spending 6 years, 7 years because of strike, because of disagreement between federal government and ASU and ASUP and then other institution. But like the Senate yesterday resolved to abolish the age limitation in job advertisements in not just federal parastatal, but even in private companies or organizations. And the Senate is urging the Federal Ministry of Labor, the Federal Ministry of Labor, Employment and Productivities and other relevant agencies to restrict and also discourage these public and private employers from depriving millions of job seekers of employment opportunity merely for not meeting age requirement. And it was sequel to the motion that was titled Age Requirement Precondition for Employment in Nigeria, Urgent Need for Intervention, that was proposed by Senator Abba Moron, PDP, Benue South. And he said the condition violates Chapter 4, Section 42, Subsection 2 of the Constitution of Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended, the right to freedom from discrimination. And like I said earlier on, we live in a nation where a a lot of the things that happen, it is the common man that suffers it. Think about it, that you finish secondary school at the age of 16, 17, or 18. You write exam, you gain admission at the age of 20. And then a course that should take you 4 years, maybe let's say at 25, you're out of the university, you are spending 27 years, like additional years because of strikes and other issues. And when you are out of the university, you have to go and serve. And after service 1 year, you come back, you're already 29 years old. That moment where you see you are hoping that you get a job, your employers are saying that between the age of 22 to 25, how are you going to do it? Ironically, like the same country where you serve, the National Youth Service is saying that the maximum should be 30 years. You finish at the 30, you come back and the employers that you won't get job because they are putting age limits. And that is why this member is saying it even contradicts the Constitution, Section 42, Section 4, subsection Section 4 of the Constitution, Chapter 4, that says that you have your rights. You shouldn't even be discriminated in the first place. So putting age now is another form of discrimination, and it violates your human rights, right to freedom from discrimination. And you think about it, somebody that graduated, he has the skills, he has the qualification, you have the knowledge, and you are ready to work, yet the conditions, you don't even like the age limits that they are putting, you have passed it. Imagine now the reality is that a lot of people that even go to school and graduate, they end up not getting job after graduation, and they think that, oh, instead of just staying at home, why not let me just further acquire my master's degree? By then I'm more equipped to be able to be employed. And you come back again and still see that, oh, the organization is saying that your age limit have passed. And this is not just limited to private organization, even federal parastatal. You see that you want to apply for certain job opportunities, they tell you that between age this to 30. So after delaying, keeping people in university, holding them down, and you still give requirements. So I don't know why we always make life difficult for the average man. The first subsidy removal is still the common man that is still feeling the impact of it. Look at some of these age limits. Is a long time thing that Nigerians have suffered. It has made a lot of people to reduce their age. Today, when you go to the NYSC camp, you see people that, like, facially looking at them, you know that this person is 40, 45. But because the paper is saying you have to be below 30 or 30 at most, people go to cyber cafes and forge age and reduce their age so that they can make it to the National Youth Service, because there are no jobs. Some people are banking on the 30,000 that they are going to be paid so that they can start something. Some are banking on the opportunity wherever they are going to be posted so that they can start life all over again. But this motion moved by the member, I think, is a good one. Like I said, the House of Assembly, the National House of Assembly, is the house of the people, and we expect them to bring some of these issues at the forefront. And that's why we always encourage Nigerians, beyond your members, we should also follow up on plenary to know the ones that are sleeping and the ones that are taking decisions on your behalf. To also contribute, because most of these sessions are streamed and you have the opportunity to also contribute as well. So it is a good move, and we hope that the executive assent to all of this, so that at the end of the day, Nigerians who are qualified, who have the skill, who have the knowledge, can have the platform and the opportunity to actually give their contribute their quota to national development. But if we don't assent to this, we keep giving other countries our own citizens to actually help in the growth and development of their country. Once someone is qualified, he has the knowledge, he has the skill, he should be employed regardless of age. I think that is important.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Joyce, for doing this with me.
Always a pleasure.
I appreciate it. Vera, thank you so much for doing this with us. Let's do it tomorrow, same station, same time. Bye-bye, and God bless you.